Today we're talking about something your brain literally can't rewire without. Not motivation, not discipline, not even repetition, sleep. Because no matter how hard you work to build new habits or learn new skills, none of it locks in without rest. Sleep is the consolidation chamber. It's the quiet process where the brain filters what to keep, what to discard, and what to strengthen based not just on what you did, but how emotionally relevant or novel it was. So if you've ever wondered why you know what to do but still feel foggy, forgetful, reactive, or why your efforts to change never seem to stick, sleep might be the real reason. And I'm not just talking about feeling tired. This is deeper. Because during sleep, your brain literally reshapes itself. Neurons that fired together during the day start binding into longer-term circuits. The hippocampus, which records short-term experiences, decides what gets uploaded to the cortex as lasting memory, and glial cells flush out toxins and byproducts that build up during waking cognition. This is why neuroplasticity researchers often say, learning happens awake, but rewiring happens asleep. One of the most important systems activated during deep sleep is called slow wave activity. It's when the brain enters a synchronized, low-frequency pattern, the exact condition required for memory consolidation and synaptic pruning. Without this, your brain doesn't just feel slow, it stays stuck in the same wiring as yesterday. That's why one of the strongest predictors of long-term cognitive change isn't just what you practice, but whether you sleep well after practicing it. And yet, most people sabotage this. They push through late nights, scroll endlessly before bed, treat sleep like a luxury instead of the neural repair lab that it is. But here's what most don't realize. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it literally prevents neural rewiring. If your sleep is inconsistent, interrupted, or shallow, even the most well-designed self-improvement system will fail to install. You'll wake up every day with yesterday's brain. So let's go deeper into the science of how this works, and more importantly, how to start using sleep to your advantage, instead of letting it become the silent bottleneck in your progress. Let's break down what actually happens when you sleep, because this isn't just rest, it's reconstruction. Every night your brain cycles through different sleep stages, but two in particular have a massive impact on neuroplasticity: slow-wave sleep and REM sleep. During slow-wave sleep, the brain enters deep, restorative states. This is when synaptic consolidation happens, meaning the connections you use during the day are either strengthened or weakened based on how often and how intensely they were activated. It's essentially a brain audit, and your nervous system decides which patterns are worth keeping and which to cut. But REM sleep is where the emotional integration happens. This is when your brain replays and reorganizes experiences, not as a memory log, but as a simulation engine. It connects ideas, processes emotions, and even helps you form new associations that didn't exist before. This is why you sometimes wake up with clarity or a sudden solution to a problem you couldn't figure out the day before. And if you're trying to rewire beliefs, habits, or trauma responses, this matters. Because REM doesn't just strengthen useful connections. It weakens emotional reactivity by giving your brain space to reprocess the past without the same physiological stress. In other words, sleep is where your brain gets to rehearse change without the resistance. But there's a catch. Your brain is extremely sensitive to sleep quality. light pollution, screen time, inconsistent bedtime, alcohol, late-night anxiety, all of these directly interfere with the very brain states required for rewiring. You might fall asleep, but you won't drop into the stages where real plasticity happens. And here's something even more critical. If you're learning something new, like a skill, a language, a coping tool, and you don't get proper sleep within 24 hours, your brain discards a large portion of that effort because it never made it past short-term storage. So no matter how much you read, rehearse, or reflect, if you skip sleep, you skip consolidation. And one more thing. Chronic sleep deprivation doesn't just halt neuroplasticity, it reverses it. Studies show that prolonged lack of REM and deep sleep leads to synaptic shrinking, heightened amygdala activity, reduced prefrontal control, and greater default mode activation, meaning more negative rumination and less adaptive response. Translation: you feel more stressed, remember the bad more than the good, and find it harder to change. So before we even talk about habit systems or mental rewiring tools, the foundation is this: protect your sleep like it's part of your training, because it is. Before we keep going, if this is landing for you so far, hit the like button so more people can find it, and if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe. We've still got more to uncover, so let's make this practical. If sleep is the hidden engine behind brain change, how do you actually train it to work for you instead of against you? Because most people treat sleep like something that just happens or doesn't. But the truth is, sleep is trainable. It's a rhythm, a cycle, and just like any part of the nervous system, it responds to consistency, environment, and signaling. Here's what that looks like in the real world. First, timing matters more than duration. Your brain has a natural window when it wants to begin the sleep cycle. If you miss that window, often between 9:30 and 11 p.m. for most adults, your cortisol may rise again, making it harder to fall asleep and decreasing deep sleep even if you stay in bed for 8 hours. Second, screens and stimulation delay neural shutdown. Blue light blocks melatonin release. But more than that, emotionally intense or fast-paced content keeps your sympathetic nervous system activated, which delays slow-wave transition. So even if you fall asleep, your brain doesn't drop in deep. This is why low-stimulation routines before bed matter. Dim lights, slow movement, predictable patterns, they're not just rituals, they're neural cues. They signal safety to your system, and safety is the green light for plasticity. Third, repetition trains rhythm. Your brain thrives on cycles. When you sleep and wake at the same time for even a week, you create predictability, and predictability lowers background stress. The nervous system starts to anticipate repair. This is the same mechanism that helps elite performers recover faster, learn faster, and emotionally regulate better. Not because they're more talented, but because their brain is synchronized with their sleep rhythm. And finally, sleep strengthens what you emotionally rehearse. This part is often overlooked. If you fall asleep worried, doom scrolling, or mentally replaying failures, that's what your brain consolidates. It's not just what you do during the day, it's what you repeat in the final hour before sleep that gets filed away most vividly. So, if you're trying to rewire a mindset, rebuild confidence, or let go of old stories, your sleep prep matters. Ask yourself, what story am I falling asleep to tonight? If you don't choose one, your brain will choose for you. And it usually picks what's familiar, not what's useful. This is where short, intentional visualization or self-rehearsal practices can quietly shift your baseline. Because as we covered in earlier videos, your brain rewires based on pattern repetition and emotional salience. Sleep is where those patterns settle in. So don't wait until you have time to improve your sleep. Sleep is the time your brain improves you. Let's bring this together. Your brain is not just a machine learning from action, it's a dynamic, adaptive system that reshapes itself in the dark. While you rest. While you let go. While you stop trying. That's the paradox. The effort to rewire happens while you're awake, but the installation happens while you sleep. So if you're doing all the right things, reading the books, doing the journaling, taking the courses, but nothing's sticking, don't blame your willpower. Check your recovery, because what sleep really is, it is the bridge between what you're doing and who you're becoming. You can't build a new self on a brain that's stuck in emergency mode, and you can't build resilience without giving the brain time to encode safety. This is why protecting your sleep isn't just a health tip, it's a rewiring strategy. So tonight when you lie down, remember this. Your brain is listening, not just to what you say you want, but to what you repeat before bed. What you focus on in that final hour, what rhythm you set for your nervous system. It's listening, consolidating, strengthening. And in that quiet space, your brain decides whether to carry yesterday forward or build something new. So maybe this isn't just about sleep. Maybe this is about giving your brain permission to change by finally giving it the conditions to do so. And if you're curious how to build those conditions intentionally, through rhythm, regulation, and subconscious programming, we'll go deeper into that in a future episode. Because when sleep becomes a baseline, not a backup plan, you stop surviving your days and start rewiring through them. If this gave you something to think about, like the video, so more people see it, and if you want more real, smart, no-fluff videos like this, hit subscribe. The videos on this channel are for educational and entertainment purposes only. They do not constitute medical, financial, business, legal, or lifestyle advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making changes to your health, finances, legal situation, or personal routines. Always do your own research before making monetization decisions. The views expressed are based on publicly available research and emerging technologies at the time of publication, and may change over time.